I'm Joe Reel.
And I'm Peter Gill.
And this is Two Men Talking Movies.
Say what again? Say what again?
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Get off my plane.
Here's Johnny.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Good day, sir. You ever dance with the devil in the pit? I am your father.
Beats. We can kill it.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Two men talking
Movies.
Shoop doop doop boo wop. Woo doop boop boop boo wop. What's that song you're singing?
I don't know.
Is that
Freestyling. Freestyling something from the 60s. I don't know.
No, it sounded like Hanson.
Hanson?
Yeah, Bop. Is that what you were?
Maybe, yeah.
To the tune of Bop?
Well, I heard this band at Why Not Wednesday yesterday. It's called Tidewater Drive Band. And they were just...
Why Not Wednesday? That's at the restaurant Why Not?
Nope. Town Center, Bob Beach.
Does it have anything to do with Why Not?
Yeah, they got Why Not Pizza there.
Oh, okay, cool. Is it free?
For show.
Sweet. So that's at the oceanfront?
No. Town Center, Virginia Beach.
Oh, okay. Where you
like
work?
the fake downtown?
Yeah.
That one.
Gotcha. Oh, cool.
All those bands and stuff.
Yeah. Well, welcome to another episode of the Two Men Talking Movies.
I didn't know that was our intro. Got me.
Gotcha. Two Men Talking Movies. I'm your host, Joe Reel.
Very monotone Joe Reel, but this is a very lively, spunky Peter Gill.
The other host, and we are here to deliver to your ears the tickling sensation of our voices.
Two men talking movies.
It just rolls off the tongue so nicely. I really do like the name. I really do.
Yeah.
And you came up with that on the spot.
That was all me.
Yeah.
Credit goes to me.
You did a great job. What were some of the other? What were like some of the ones we came up with that were?
The lame ones?
Yeah.
I think all I can remember is Two Men Talking Movies, and I was just really hoping I wasn't going to get shot down. So, props to you for not shooting me down.
Yeah. Do I usually do that to your ideas?
All the bad ones, at least.
At least I'm honest, though.
Yeah, I mean, you're always honest.
And I'm not mean about it. I'm just
that was
honest.
literally my best shot, and I was like, man, if this gets shot down, I really have no idea.
It was awesome. It was perfect, I thought.
Yeah.
I still think that.
Oh, thank you.
So it's been a while since we've been on here, since we've recorded an episode. Last time we were up here, we talked about Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah, got some hate mail on that one.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned last time. Did I tell you that somebody told me at a cookout, I said I didn't really like that movie, and she said that this girl said to my face, like, "Oh, you don't have a good taste in movies then."
Did you punch her in the face?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was funny though.
Good for you though.
It's weird that automatically.
How do you take that?
I was kind of hurt, but then I was weird for that to be the movie that tells somebody, oh, if they don't like this movie, then they have terrible taste in movies. Usually that's something like The Green Mile or
Forrest Gump,
Shawshank Redemption, or like
Aladdin,
Schindler's List. Yeah, no, Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin. Everyone likes Aladdin. I mean, Magic Carpet, Boy Meets Girl, Boy Falls in Love with Girl. There's a genie involved. Also, Robin Williams.
I guess.
I would say anyone who would hate Robin Williams in his movies probably doesn't like movies or doesn't understand movies.
You don't think so?
I think that's a good litmus test.
True.
Am I too off on that one?
No, because Robin Williams is a genius. Was a genius. And Aladdin was Aladdin because of Robin Williams.
Sure.
And I've always said one of my favorite movies is Hook.
Yes. Wow, Hook. Man, we'll save that for another episode. For sure. I loved Hook.
The heavy breathing is Peter Gill to let our listeners know.
Yes. Sorry for the deep breath. That was a gasp.
I love Aladdin.
Sorry for being so breathy. I'm just really excited.
Are you out of breath?
No. Just been sitting here.
Okay.
Did work out today.
What'd you do this week? What was your week like?
A lot of graduation ceremonies. Kids I know, peeps I know, their people are graduating. So I went to 2 graduation ceremonies and 3 graduation parties. I kind of wanted to shoot myself. No offense, because I know some of those people listen to our podcast. Absolutely love and adore all you people, but that was a little much. If I had to do it over again, I would have simmered it down a little bit.
Nice.
Just too many hot dogs, hamburgers, barbecue, too much of that.
Yeah, I only did one. I did one graduation party for my sister-in-law who graduated from college, university, and she had her master's, so that was cool.
Nice.
And then I went to a graduation. So that was the cookout. I went to a graduation ceremony for my wife's cousin. So it was, 500 students, and that's where the real fun is. I just love sitting there and
Listening to names, hearing
Yeah.
about all the scholarships we never got.
then every time a name is mentioned, I try to imagine what that person is or what they're like.
How they're going to fail in the future.
I try to imagine the life they live, the life they're gonna live, and I come up with scenarios in my mind of who they are and what kind of decisions they've made, what kind of decisions they're gonna make.
Really? Wow. That's cool. Quite the graduation ceremony for you. Good grief. No, during mine, I thought it was really interesting. This kid got a $180,000 scholarship.
That was one scholarship he got.
Yeah, one scholarship.
Wow. Who was the scholarship from?
The Navy.
Okay. Was that the post 9/11
I don't know.
thing they do? See, that's the thing, because I was looking through. So the pamphlets they give out at these things, they have the scholarships listed, and one of them was a post 9/11 scholarship, and it was like 150,000. So that's what I'm wondering, if that's just the GI Bill or if that's actually like a separate
No,
thing.
I think it's a scholarship for how he performed in high school, like maybe whose dad was, or maybe the recruiting officer he got connected to. But I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, you still got to sign your life away to the Navy, which we're in a huge Navy town, so we always appreciate those fellows and what they do for our country.
Yeah,
but
definitely. Is that so? The student has to do that. That once the student accepts that scholarship, that means
he's basically joining the Navy at that point.
okay. So is that scholarship to any?
Yeah, I think he was going to Virginia Tech.
Okay.
And then he got like a second scholarship for.
So they don't have to go to like the. Is there a Navy Academy?
Yeah.
Okay, I know there's Air Force Academy. I didn't know.
There's a Naval Academy.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh my god.
Same with all the
Do
branches.
you
I'm
even
guessing.
live in the United States, Joe?
Nah, I live under a rock.
Oh,
It's
okay.
called Portsmouth.
Oh man, very cool. Yeah. So after that segue,
You just go. You move on. So you're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah.
I appreciate you guys listening to us ramble on about some of our boring weekends. Yes, it's graduation year, but we're gonna head into my favorite segment. The genius behind it, of course, is me, and that's trailer trash. And the first trailer, we're actually working on getting some of these spliced into our episodes so you guys can kind of hear what we've been seeing. But the first one is Beauty and the Beast, which is actually not a trailer. It's like a teaser, so maybe like teaser trash. And basically we see shots around the castle, the palace, whatever you want to call it. Then we get to see a blue rose or a red rose. And I think we see
A blue rose.
I think it doesn't turn to blue in the cartoon. That's what I think. Wasn't it blue in the cartoon, or was it always red?
I think it just kind of blackens and starts to die.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm just colorblind, but I think we see an image of Belle and
Played by Emma Watson.
I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess so.
Love Emma Watson. The great Hermione.
Yep.
And
Hermione.
what other movies has she been in? She was in the Bling Ring or Ring Thing or whatever it's called.
Ring a ding ding.
It's the true story of the kids in Hollywood that vandalized all the stuff.
I don't think I saw that one.
You can see that one? Okay.
Also, Ewan McGregor plays the French Candle. I heard he had to take. This is per my wife. I heard, so it's on the down low. She's kind of in the know in all things Beauty Beast.
She's a big Ewan fan, right? Is it Ewan? Ewan? How do you say it?
Ewan.
Ewan.
Yeah.
So it's Ewan. It's like
He's
a
Scottish.
Ewan.
Yeah.
Ewan. That's
I've
how
been
you say
watching
it.
his
Ewan.
doc series here lately, but that's beside the point. So he actually plays someone who's French when he's Scottish. So I think that's pretty interesting. I'm interested to see his take on that French persona. And next we have
Go ahead.
an interesting movie called Monster Trucks. I was kind of skimming some of the trailers that came out recently. I was like, oh, Monster Trucks. Had really no idea what this was about, but it's an actual monster in a truck.
Chose a winner.
Yeah. So I don't think we'll be seeing this in theaters. I don't know. I might wait till Netflix. I don't know. This jury's still out on this one. This one looked like maybe an actual one-liner.
It looks like a truck wreck.
God, that was good. That was good. That was right on the fly too.
What I love about this trailer is that it seems like everyone in this world happens to own a truck.
Yes, it's like an alternate Mad Max world.
Where there's trucks everywhere.
And
you
it's
drive,
playful.
You drive, and everyone says like, "Oh, I like your truck." You know, they compliment each other on their trucks.
Yeah,
It's a very strange town these people live
I
in.
also felt like the actors didn't take the movie seriously. Did you get that from the trailer? There was really no conviction in some of their
from the
lines.
point where the monster's eyeball came through the glove compartment and the girl pushed it back in and said, "I touched its eye."
Ew.
Then I think from that moment I realized that this movie probably was not for me.
Well, I'm sorry, Paramount. By the looks of the trailer, I don't know if I'll be seeing this one. But if you guys are into monsters and trucks, then I think this is the perfect movie for you.
So is this? I wonder, was there like some kind of kids show called Monster Trucks or something that this is like a play on?
I don't know. I think it's.
Because that's what I was waiting for the whole time. I felt like there was gonna be like a Mattel. Thing
I think
come
it's a
up,
cross between Cars and Transformers
but like a live action Cars movie, yeah.
with a little Monsters Inc. thrown in there.
And it said brought to you by the people who brought you Ice Age. So it might be hilarious. I don't know.
Yeah, good. I would love to see Ray Romano come up on this one. Another one we were watching and thought our viewers, or not our viewers, because you guys aren't watching us yet. We'll be on TV soon. More to come on that. Assassin's Creed. This is from the ever-growing fan base for those who want to see movies made into their favorite games, or their games made into their favorite movies. Let's put it that way. And so a lot of high hopes on this movie that it fulfills. I haven't ever
Game
really...
to movie adaptation, not movie to game.
Yeah. Sorry. I get mixed up on,
It's okay.
on those things.
They're both usually nightmares or trash, either way. So
Really?
yeah.
So you think Batman to game is not a good idea?
The only actually movie adaptation I thought that worked was the Batman Begins game. Other than that, the rest of them were pretty trashy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think the Star Wars games are pretty good, but that's just me.
True. Were those? Well, yeah. The Battlefront ones, I guess, were from movie. The other ones.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Well, Knights of the Old Republic was kind of its own thing. Pod Racer, though. Pod Racer was awesome.
Oh, Pod Racer
Yeah.
was insane in the membrane. All right, so back to Assassin's Creed. We were watching this, and it looks like 80% of this movie is probably spent in the world that they're fighting in. I guess it's like old Spain or something like that.
Yeah. So, are you familiar with Assassin's Creed, the game?
I tried playing once. I didn't get very far, so I kind of gave it up because I'm quitter when
So
it comes to that kind of
I've
stuff.
played most of them. My brother-in-law loves his games, and these are pretty much every time one comes out, he'll play it from beginning to end, and do everything he can in it. But basically, the Assassin's Creed story is that it's the future, and this organization or
Is it a
corporate
post-apocalyptic-
entity. No, it's not post-apocalyptic. It's just the future, and this company known as
LexCorp. Enron.
the company is called Abstergo, and basically this company creates all sorts of tech for the future and entertainment things. And one of the things they do is that they create this device that can basically go into one's DNA and pull out memories of distant relatives or people that are in that strand of DNA. So almost like your whole lineage of your family is carried through your DNA almost, right? Like I could, if we could go back and check DNA from
In my DNA, you can find the memories of my great
in this world, you can.
Wow.
So somehow
That's what we choose to do with our technology in the future.
Yeah. So what they do is they get this guy, and they basically go into his. They want to use him as a conduit for this device to pull back his memories. And I don't want to ruin any of the story of the movie, but basically what happens is he goes back. They go back into, I don't know, the
1500s.
It's like Persia and
What happens if his great grandfather was like a shepherd in Nowheresville, Russia.
Well, so he goes back. He can like play out the memories. It's really weird.
Oh.
So he can almost jump. He can time travel through his DNA. It's really strange. It's hard. I mean, I'm sure they'll explain it a lot better than I am.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it in the movie and kind
Yeah.
of figure out.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, that's what Joe was trying to say. But yeah, so his family members were part of this assassins organization. And,
Got it.
And so
He was hooked from the beginning.
Yeah. So there's definitely some twists and turns of this movie. Or if they follow the game, of course. But it looks good. I love Michael Fassbender. Love him.
Like a brother.
Yeah, he might be my favorite actor. He might be.
Really?
Yeah.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah, big fan of him. And
Okay.
so I'm happy to see him in this movie. It looks good from the trailer, I thought. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it looks better than Warcraft.
Oh yeah. I was worried about them overly saturating it with CGI, but it doesn't. It looks like there's a lot of real life acting and sets and practical effects, not just green screen,
Yeah.
Not like the Star Wars prequels where it's like a dude in
There's
a green
no
room.
real stormtrooper at all.
Yeah, there's just a head on like a green body.
Yeah.
On the green screen body, so the head's kind of like flopping around a little bit. Yeah, it's funny.
So next up we have what looks like to be a hilarious trailer, Sausage Party, starring Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd, Jonah Hill, Micah Cera.
Bill Hader, Kristen Wiig.
Oh, man. I mean, this is just like
Huge cast.
the comedy cast to end all comedy cast.
Said from makers of Knocked Up, Pineapple Express.
And Superbad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I pretty much love all those movies.
This is a animation of what looks like a housewife going and purchasing all these foods for their cookout, and of course all of these hot dogs, buns, potatoes can all talk.
It's like a Toy Story but with food.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and they have this idea that when they go to someone's home that they enter eternity, and then they find out they just get eaten. And the trailer shows the mom eating baby carrots, which are children to them, and they're really freaked out.
Yeah, the food's freaking out. Everyone's screaming. It looks hilarious. It's definitely going. We watched the normal trailer. There's a Red Band trailer out that they show you a lot more stuff that's more adult oriented. But this is definitely not a kids movie. So
No.
You might get fooled when you first start watching. You're like, oh, cool, Pixar. It's got that
Right.
Pixar look, but it's definitely an adult
Is it
movie.
DreamWorks? Who is it?
I don't remember.
Probably some random company.
Yeah, but the animation looks good. They did
Yeah,
a
the
good job.
animation looks great. This looks like a very funny film. I probably will go see this in theaters just because I think I could use a laugh.
Yeah, it looks hilarious. Next segment we got is the notorious real time. So this week I have a total of 4 articles of news. So the first article I have comes from yahoo.com. According to Yahoo, Elijah Wood says there's a secret pedophile ring in Hollywood and child actors are prey.
I believe it.
In a revealing piece about the Lord of the Rings star for the Sunday Times, Elijah Wood is quoted as saying, "Child actors are regularly preyed upon by vipers in Hollywood." Wood told the Times that he never went to parties where that kind of thing was going on because his mother, Deborah, protected him from interacting with people who could take advantage of him. Now, this isn't something new. I've heard this, rumors of this stuff happening.
I think there's even a documentary or a movie coming out pretty soon.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Who was the first person who really spoke this out? Was Corey Feldman, right? Is that whose name?
I guess.
Who was in the Goonies and he was a child. Yeah, Corey Feldman. The Goonies, Stand By Me, Gremlins. Do you remember him?
Yes. I guess. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he basically said that a while ago. He said that this was something that was going on, and there was really no one else speaking up about it. There had been rumors of it and stuff, but now Elijah Wood is also claiming this. So I think it's definitely something that enough people say something, there's got to be some truth to this.
Right.
Maybe,
I think
yeah.
I think it's something that Hollywood doesn't want to admit, even though once they're okay with admitting things that they have wrong, like not having enough minority filmmakers or minority actors, they have to come to grips with themselves to then kind of make that change for whatever reason. But I think this is something that needs to more like to be shed on this, because if that is a problem, one, that's a huge legal problem. And I think last award ceremony, because stuff like this has come out over the past 6 months, but I think the last award ceremony I looked out over the crowd and I was wondering, I was like, how many of those people have either been involved with something like that or have done something like that? And it was kind of staggering to think about thousands of people who might be involved with something like that, and it's awful to think about.
Yeah, and basically Corey Feldman in the past has said that they were basically kids were being passed around back and forth from people, which that's pretty descriptive and pretty sickening. Thinking about it, I don't know the whole story to that, but
I think there has to be an environment where that's accepting for people to be able to come out and tell their story, and not not fear who's going to come down on them or who's going to exact some type of revenge.
right. And I'm sure a lot of people too. I mean, you're going against an industry when you say that. It's not. I mean, there's some. They're not naming anybody, but basically saying Hollywood, this is happening. It gives a big wide brush. It paints people with a very big wide brush, and it.
A broad brush, if you will.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. I knew you were searching for something.
Yeah.
I guess that was it.
The next piece of news I have comes from the Hollywood Reporter. So Lionsgate is making a Power Rangers movie, live action. Did you know this?
Really?
Yeah.
To follow up their Hunger Games?
I guess. And
Seems appropriate.
Lionsgate is claiming that it may make up to 7 more films
Sheesh.
if the first one is successful. So they're going to put this one out that they're working on right now, and if it's successful and they get the money that they're wanting for it, they're talking about making 7 more. That's according to the CEO, John Feldmer, I guess.
I'm pretty sure that's a lock. I think this one's going to do well.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, it has that kind of like Transformers following.
That's a huge commitment, though. 7.
I mean, I doubt. I mean, he's just saying that. I'm sure that's just lip service.
I mean, this is coming from, like you said, Lionsgate, who put out the Hunger Games, and not to mention Twilight, which both of those they stretched. The last ones
yeah.
they made double.
They knew they had something good, and so they just stretched it out.
Yeah. So
I think he's telling fans that this won't be the only one coming, so go see this one. It's going to be first in the series, so that everyone kind of goes and sees the first one. But, I mean, 7 movies about Power Rangers? Is that the new Transformers? Is that what we have to deal with over the next 10, 15 years?
yeah, I don't know how that would work. Would they release one every year? I wonder.
No. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker yet.
Because to hold
Yet.
to hold someone's interest for that long, 7 films. That's ridiculous.
Well, how long did the Power Ranger series go?
Oh, they have a ton of them. So, yeah. Anyways, the next piece of news I have, it comes from independent website. It's independent.co.uk if you guys want to check this out. Shia LaBeouf is asking the public to find him using GPS coordinates and take him anywhere.
Yep.
Basically, this is Shia LaBeouf, who has a history of doing
Odd things?
different art projects, as you would say. He did one where he sat in a art exhibit with a bag on his head and basically let people come in and sit with him. They weren't allowed to touch him or anything. And he does a lot of weird. He did one where he watched all his films in a movie theater in one sitting. And
Naked.
Not naked, but he sat in there watching it, and people could come in and watch it with him.
Nice.
So he does actually a lot of things.
I mean, that's kind of like what we do when we go to movie theaters.
Yeah, but all his movies straight. I don't know. That's crazy.
Even holes?
Even holes, yeah.
Whoa.
So basically, what he's doing is he will be, and let me see.
I think he's also playing some crazy tennis player here pretty soon. I forget that he picked up some role that just seemed perfect for him. I think it was a crazy tennis player. I forget his name.
Yeah, so on Twitter, you can follow the hashtag #TakeMeAnywhere, and he will be tweeting his coordinates. They have global coordinates, and you can see where he's at. But he's basically starting over in California, and I think making his way to the East Coast. I don't know if he's trying to go to New York or what, but you can follow his coordinates and pick him up. It's
so
like
he's bumming rides to get to New York. Is he
yeah,
out of money?
the whole. I'm sure he's got money on him, but the whole thing is, and he's documenting his experience hitchhiking across the United States.
That ain't bad. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And maybe if he gets around here, we could have him, pick him up, and
Yeah, maybe he'll come on our podcast.
maybe that'd be an
Please,
interesting.
Shia, please. Or do you go by Shy?
I don't know. Take him anywhere. We can take him here.
Yeah. But come right to
Kidnap.
Portsmouth.
That's
No.
No, we did not just say that.
No.
We did not
Edit
just say
that
that.
out. Just kidding.
So, yeah,
Actually, I think that's what people are doing.
kidnapping him.
Yeah, he's letting them kidnap him.
Oh wow.
Good for him.
The last piece of news I have comes from comingsoon.net. According to Coming Soon,
Guess they didn't want to pay for .com.
New Line Cinema is featuring real-life audio of possessions in their new movie, The Conjuring 2.
Wow.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Listening to Possessions,
Real audio from possessions.
I don't really feel anything about that. I mean, for those people who need to get their Spotify sesh on to Possessions, then yeah, sure, I'm happy for those people. But for me, it's not. I mean, every once in a while I'll listen to a good Possession, but it's not something I do on the reg. What about you?
I don't know. I think a lot of what people. So I talked on the Creative Mind when I had director Scott Hansen on it. One of the things we talked about was towards the end was supernatural stuff and possessions and demons and other worlds and stuff like the possibility of other dimensions. And I believe that this stuff is real, but I think a lot of what we have in modern possessions or what you see on TV and the so-called real possessions, I don't think they're real. I think it's people just exaggerating. I don't think
People are faking it.
yeah, I just find it funny that if people are to believe that demons are real, which I would say I do, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they are real, I don't think every one of them is going to have a deep voice and twist around and it just seems so cliche, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it does stuff that to scare people. And
Yeah.
so there's a direction that most of these directors are taking. And they
Well, I know. I'm
it's-
talking in general, though. Don't you think that demons?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have personalities and.
Well, I don't know about.
Their own-
I don't think
their own
about. I don't know.
culture.
I don't know about personality. What culturally?
Entombed.
Maybe. The one from the movie The Exorcism was British. The Exorcist was
Oh,
British. So
nice.
I thought that was ridiculous. So I don't know, but I don't know. I just don't think a lot of this stuff is real. I mean, I think it is. I think there is real stuff, but a lot of what people see isn't real.
Sure.
That's my take. I could be wrong.
That's a good take. That's a great take.
I could be wrong.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So that's it for real time. So today we are reviewing a great movie,
Yeah, I would say definitely a great movie.
The
Yeah.
Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not getting enough.
Starring Ryan Gosling and
Russell Crowe.
I'm
Yeah.
Yeah, Russell Crowe. Thank you.
And also the kid from Jurassic World that was in that little ball.
Yeah, he was in there.
Yeah, he was there for like the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, this movie, right off the bat, from the Two Men Talking movies rating, I would give this from a 1 to 10 an 8.5.
Ooh, I'm right there at 8. Yeah, 8. I mean, I might as well just go 8, 8.5. I mean, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm tempted to do 9, but I don't want to. 10, I would say, like, I'm going to watch it every day for the rest of my life.
Right, it's one of your favorite movies.
Yeah. This was 8.5. It was really good. really might be one of the best movies I've seen this year. Up there with 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, yeah,
I think
yeah.
this and 10 Cloverfield Lane are the two best films I've seen so far this year of 2016. And yeah, it was good. I was blown away cuz first of all, you saw it before me.
Yes,
You saw
I was pitching it to you.
Yeah, you saw it before me and said, "Hey, we need to review this." And I was like, "Okay." And from the trailers, it looked interesting. It had an interesting cast. I like Ryan Gosling. I like Russell Crowe. And the whole concept though I was confused of by the trailer. Like I didn't know, are they cops or I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
So when I saw it with Rachel. Rachel loved it too. We both loved it.
Really, Rachel
Yeah.
liked it. Good.
So it was good. It was funny.
Steph loved it too.
It had like a pulp kind of noir film type of, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
it felt like, I don't know. It feels like it's going to be a series. We talked about this earlier too. I
Yeah.
feel like the way they left it, they almost teased like this could be a series of movies.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
I would watch this series as long as it's done as well as the first one.
Yeah.
I would watch that series for sure.
Oh yeah.
And I would like for them to see something a little bit different, the story backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this movie just had a lot of different things going for it, and that's why I kept pitching it to you, because from character development to story arc to character arc to overarching themes to the cinematography. I mean, at
Yes.
no point in the movie did I ever feel like I was out of the 70s.
No. And I never got bored through any of the movie.
No.
I had my attention the entire time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There was never any slow pacing or dry moments where you're just like looking at your watch like, okay, when is this gonna end? I was just like, oh man, the
And it was
story's-
funny.
Yeah, it was funny. I would definitely say maybe not for the whole family, maybe for mom and dad, adults.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is a date night for mom and dad. Don't
yeah.
take the kids.
It is rated R. There is some mature elements to it, and one of the things we'll get more into this after our break, but one of the things is that the movie it's based around the investigation of a death of a porn star, right? And so you see the whole porn industry in the 70s. There's a lot of figures from that. So that right there should kind of give you a hint of what's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's why it's a mom and dad.
yeah. So I would probably say see it in theaters. Being not that it's better on a big screen, but support this film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Support this film on the big screen. If you still get a chance. By
Yeah,
the time we've
yeah.
recorded this episode and it goes live, more than likely, very few theaters, maybe a few independent theaters might still be carrying it. But unfortunately, if this movie is released in February or if this movie is released in October,
On what, Blu-ray?
no, in theaters.
Oh yeah.
If this movie is released at any point, not the summer,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a huge hit. I say it does 90 to 100 million in box office. Probably, maybe even more than that. Maybe 120 or 150.
Are you speaking figuratively? Like, what are you talking about? You said if this movie is released in
If
February.
this movie is released in February,
Was it released in February? That's when it came
no,
out. Oh.
it came out in
Like a month
May.
ago? Yeah.
Yeah, it came out in May. So if
What do you
this movie
think?
is,
What do you mean if it's released on
if
Blu-ray?
it's released in a different, or if this movie is released theatrically in February,
It
or
wasn't though. It was May. You're saying if it was.
If it was,
Okay. Okay. That's what. So figuratively, you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
If-
Gotcha. I'm on the
figuratively
same page
speaking.
now. I'm on the same page.
Yes, come into my
Coming back to you.
This movie makes a ton more money because the summer is driven around big blockbusters,
Action flicks,
Action.
superhero movies.
kids movies.
Yeah.
The kids are out of
Animated,
school.
yeah.
Freaking Angry Birds. I don't even know why that's a movie.
So you think this movie would have been better if it was released around the winter?
Not that the movie would have been better.
Would have done better. I'm
It
sorry.
would have
yeah.
done better if
Yeah.
it was released at a different time.
Maybe. I think too the advertising could have been a little bit better. They kind of had the same trailer going around where it was like a comedic 70s movie, like a timepiece, like
They did a few different things for advertising, but like this movie didn't have a huge budget either. So
right.
they're not going to waste a bunch of money on advertisement for. I think some of the advertisement was a little bit more grassroots,
Yeah.
social media stuff like that.
Right. They did well. They didn't really ruin any of the movie either, which was
Oh,
nice because
no.
I hate when they ruin movies. And
I didn't
shows.
even know this. The backdrop to the movie was the porn industry.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I don't know if I would have gone and seen it if I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. See, I would if you can see it just to support the movie because it definitely deserves it, and I want to see a sequel come out of this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there is a sequel to this movie that's not the porn industry, I'm definitely down for that movie.
It's in the drug industry. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
It is the 70s.
True. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with a more in-depth spoiler review. Peter, do you like to read books?
Yes, I'm actually reading a book right now called Ready Player One.
Oh, nice. Rachel read that. She said it was awesome. That's Ernest Cline?
Yes.
Cool.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm up on my book.
No, Rachel's up on her books, not you.
Oh.
You're up on talking with Rachel.
No, I just heard the ad for that book through another ad so many times. I heard Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, so I got that drilled into my
Nice.
mind.
It's an alright book.
Well, if you didn't know whether that book was good or not, say you wanted to read it but you weren't sure.
Yeah.
Do you know how you could figure out if it was good before you started reading it?
Not a clue, no.
Well, there is a YouTube channel called Bookables, and it's at youtube.com/user/bookables. And at Bookables, the host of Bookables, who is Heather, basically reviews books, tells you of upcoming book news, does all sorts of special features on books. It's
Nice.
It's amazing. She had one special feature on cooking Harry Potter meals from the books. Yeah.
Really?
It's
Wow.
awesome. Yeah, she does all sorts of really cool stuff. She does what ifs of characters and plots and all sorts of things. It's awesome.
Cool. I have to check that out.
Yeah,
Where
so
do I go to find that?
You can check that out once again at youtube.com/user/bookables. And we're back.
Did you miss me?
It feels like it's been so long since we've talked.
Yeah. Potty break.
So this movie, like we said, 8.5. You gave it 8.5 too?
Yeah, I'll go
So
there.
that was a combined score, 8.5. Is this the highest review we've given
I
a
think
rating?
so.
Yeah, I think so. Next to Batman, which was what? Batman vs Superman?
I think I gave Batman vs Superman a 6.5.
Yeah, it was like around a 6, something like that. So it was a great film. The whole porn industry thing, it opens up with a scene of there's some nudity in it, you know.
Yeah. A very awkward scene.
Yeah.
Where this car comes crashing through a house and this kid from Jurassic World is like what
Stealing
on
a porn mag from his dad while he's sleeping.
Yeah.
And then the porn star is in the car that runs through his house.
Correct. And she says something like,
Hey,
"Do you
big
like my
boy,
car?"
do you like my car?
Yeah. And at this
To a
point,
child, and I was like, that's kind of awkward.
and she's dying and she's naked and I'm just like, uh-oh, what do I got?
I know,
myself
you're like,
into?
what is this movie?
Oh no, I have to
Was
walk out
Stephanie
of
with
it.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, what'd she do? Did
she
she give you that look?
She was just like, I don't know. And I'm like, I
Just
don't know either.
Rachel gives me this look, you know, like she looks over like,
Of
Yeah.
course you're bringing me this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've like purposely did. I'm like, I didn't know, you know.
Right. It probably should help if we like read a review. But since we've been doing this podcast, I don't read reviews because
Right.
I don't want it to
Influence your review.
influence my review or
Yeah.
influence my opinion of the movie. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so it basically picks up pretty much from there. So the whole concept of the movie is these two. One of them is almost like a beat 'em up hire. Like he was he an ex cop?
No.
He wasn't. Okay.
No.
But he has a service where people pay him to go beat rough people up and basically like if someone's stalking someone or if someone's harassing someone, he goes to them and bruises them up and says, you know, leave this person alone or else I'll come back and it'll be worse. And so that's Russell Crowe's character. Now, Ryan Gosling's character, he is
a private detective,
private investigator.
But he's also a cop, right?
No, he's not a cop. He might have been used to be a cop, but he's not a cop now.
Okay.
He's a private investigator, very lucrative, very there's a couple times where you see him doing investigations of things he already knows the answer to. Like he's talking to the lady and she's like, "I haven't seen my husband." He's like, "Since when?" "Since the funeral." And he looks up and there's like a
Right.
vase of her husband's ashes, and
Yeah,
he's
so
just
you
like,
automatically get the idea that he's not a nice guy.
yeah, he's not a nice guy. He charges. Then he starts, so he's doing some stuff, and there's like a couple times through the movie where he's giving pointers to Russell Crowe, and it's like, no, even though we know the information, we let it mull over for a couple days. That way we can get more money.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, and so and something hilarious too is his daughter. So did his wife die? Did they ever say what happened to his wife?
Yeah, okay, so what happened was they were in their old home, and their dad or Ryan Gosling's character can't smell. And so his wife had been complaining about the smell and said that I think there's a leak. And he was never really concerned about it because he could never smell.
Yeah, he never checked the furnace out or anything.
Which also shows a little bit into his character, how he's very self-serving and very selfish. And really hasn't gotten out of that, even though his wife has died, because she dies in
the fire.
In the fire.
Okay.
Because
I must have missed that. I remember them talking about the fire, but I didn't remember if they said that she had died in that.
So, anyways, his daughter realizes how selfish and depraved he is, and constantly tries to correct his character. But also, since she loves him and is his dad, she's trying to help him out with a lot of his different jobs.
Yeah, and she's kind of got this personality of she knows too much for her age. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She's very mature for her age.
Yeah.
And while she's having slumber parties and stuff, she's giving pointers to her dad of like how he should act or how he should run his business and tips of how to do investigation and stuff. So it's pretty funny. And so Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe meet up through somehow
So we probably should watch this movie again, just because there's
a lot that happened. It was a pretty long movie. It was almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours.
I think it was 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
There's just so much you're trying to catch during this movie that it almost moves too quickly, and you're kind of like left a few steps behind, having to figure things out. There's several points in this movie I wish I could have paused and rewind and figured out what was going on.
Yeah, like, oh, I missed that. Wait, yeah.
Because you're keeping up with so many different things. But this girl who was in the movie, the porn movie.
Her character's name is Misty Mountains.
No, another girl.
The other
girl in the movie hires
Amelia.
Crowe.
Amelia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hires Amelia. No, is it Amelia?
It is Amelia. They're looking for a girl named Amelia.
Yeah, she hires Russell Crowe to go rough Ryan Gosling up because Ryan Gosling's been hired to find her.
Yeah, so a young girl hires Russell. Yeah. So she ends up to be like the main, like she's the object of everything in this movie.
Correct.
But like you said, she hires Russell Crowe to rough up Ryan Gosling because Ryan Gosling has been hired to follow her around, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's how they meet each other. Kind of that funny kind of instance of they're both working against each other.
Right. And then Russell Crowe, it has been found out that he knows who she is, so he goes roughs Ryan Gosling up, breaks his arm or hurts his shoulder or something. And I also like that he didn't immediately heal from that. It's just a little side note. I hate when people immediately heal.
The
from
next scene you
injuries.
see him in, they're like,
he's actually wearing a cast for
and he's
a
bruised up
portion of the
still.
movie.
Yeah.
And so he roughs him up, and then Russell Crowe is being followed by some gangsters who have been hired to kill the girl that had just hired him. And so that he knows, or those gangsters know that he knows who Amelia is, and they go try to rough him up. Do you remember that?
Yeah, so the story really, it gets really deep pretty
really
fast.
Complex.
Yeah,
really
there's
complex.
a lot. When you think it's just this little thing, everything's connected. And some more stuff comes into, so then some stuff comes into play where they go, I love the scene when they were at the porn industry party where all the big names in the porn industry were there.
But I know it sounds like, oh man, this must be an awful movie, but that scene wasn't like filled with a ton of nudity.
No, the worst part of nudity was the very beginning. For those of you who want to avoid nudity, the worst part was the very beginning, and then there was like one part where they're at the party, like you see like some girls that were painted. They have like body
Oh,
paint.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's never any sex actual scenes though, right?
Right.
Of people having sex. But yeah, so the party you see, so Ryan Gosling's character has a problem with drinking, right? Anytime he gets around alcohol or any type of drug substance, he kind of like lets himself go, even though he's on the job. He's like,
Right.
why not? And so he goes crazy at this party, and you see him jumping in like there's a swimming pool, and he's jumping and swimming after these girls dressed up like mermaids. It's pretty funny, and they each of these characters kind of keep stumbling across clues that lead them on to the next part.
They're at that party
Yeah.
to find the director of the movie.
Of a porn movie that the girl was in that they're looking for.
Yes. So they, Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe are there to find the producer of that porn film, and in his drunken stupor, Ryan Gosling finds that he's right next to him.
Yeah, the guy's dead, just sitting there,
right
yeah,
next to
yeah.
him, and he's the one who's fired a recent shot because he's drunk, and he realizes that he has to get rid of the body because people think they're gonna kill him.
Yeah, he did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they dump the body on like a party of another people. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
They dump the party on a.
There's a lot of dark humor in this movie.
Yeah, there is.
So if you're like more of like the here's the punchline type jokes and stuff, that's not.
There's a lot of like.
It's a lot of like there's one point where there's a woman who, in the beginning of the movie, she hires Ryan Gosling to find her dead granddaughter or something who is Misty Mountains, who dies in the beginning.
Right.
She said, "Yeah, I saw her," and even though after she was dead, and so like towards the end, they discover what she was actually seeing was a video of her daughter,
Right, which leads them
of
on to
her
the
granddaughter.
next-
Yeah, and he says, oh, and then she goes, so that means that my granddaughter's dead, and he's like, yes, and it was just funny. Like it's like he's like,
Yeah, there's a lot. What I really appreciated about this film was that Ryan Gosling was set up to be this character who stumbled upon clues, and he was somewhat Sherlock Holmes.
yeah, like a clumsy Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. And there was several instances
Because he was very good at what he did, even though
Right.
the whole time they're kind of joking him like,
Well, there's this.
Yeah.
For instance, there's this one pivotal point in the movie where he deciphers this code or this piece of paper, and he's like, "It's not an airport ticket. It is the flat,
an
the
address,
address to
yeah.
the flat in blah blah blah, Los Angeles." And everyone, or his daughter and Russell Crowe, are like, "Oh wow, this guy's right," even though he's drunk and kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And so they're out there driving, and they get there, and the whole place has been demolished. And Ryan Gosling goes, "Well, I guess I was wrong on this one. I guess it is the airport." And they drive back to the airport, and on the way, they figure out it's not the airport, it's the hotel next to the airport. So anyways,
yes, yeah.
I just like how it subverted a trope where his character was set up to be this type of character who stumbles upon these very clever clues, but in all actuality, he doesn't sometimes. And it's
Right.
just he has to stumble upon them just like anyone else.
And they both constantly, like we said, they're in the right place at the right times always. Like
Yeah.
the part where they pull up to the hotel and they're about to leave because the cops are showing up and there's some guy in there that's killing people, and they're like, but we need to go up there. And like right when they're trying to decide whether they should go in to find the girl or not, the girl like jumps down off the fire escape from the hotel and lands on their car, and they're just like, oh, there she is.
Right.
Yeah.
So getting back to walking through the movie a little bit, after Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling hook up and decide they're going to work together, Amelia's mom hires them to go find her. And so basically the backdrop of this movie, or the point of this movie, is that the car industry in Detroit is producing cars that are intoxicating the air of Los Angeles and the rest of the world.
Right, kind of what Volkswagen did recently, where they put out cars that were
Well, kind of what the car industry does as a whole.
yeah, like there's like rules and regulations that cars have to follow with emissions and what type of engines are allowed and stuff like that. And these guys were going under the radar and putting stuff out even though it was illegal anyways.
Right. And Amelia's mom was working with the Justice Department to bring an easy case against them to where it would get dismissed.
Yeah.
And Amelia knew this, and they decided to make a porn film that would be released and show all the interworkings in between the government and the car industry that actually hurt the taxpayers and the consumers. And so that's kind of the basis of the film, is this movie.
And the movie was called "Hey Big Boy, Do You Like My Car?" or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Amelia's mom doesn't want any of this film to get out.
Yeah.
And so that's why so many gangsters are chasing her from Detroit, and it's why the government's chasing her, because both industries are trying to get at her. And I think it shows, it's very relative to kind of some of the things we're dealing with. It's the fact that capitalism, it is a good thing, but the greed can overtake some of these companies, and they do things that are adverse to the country.
I think capitalism unchecked is not a good thing, though.
Correct. So it shows the interworkings in between some of these companies and the government, much as we saw in 2008 with the financial crash. And it just goes to show a broader theme of some of the problems we probably should address as a society, in my opinion. And I think I took a lot of that away from this movie as well. So once Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe are hired, a kind of a funny part where the mom is ready to write a check for whatever amount they list.
Yeah.
And so Ryan Gosling undershoots himself by saying like 5,000.
She's writing 10,000.
Yeah,
He's like, he says, we won't take anything less than 5,000. And she's like,
she crosses out 10,000 and throws it away.
yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. And they're hired to bring Amelia back, and Amelia tells them that the mom is actually trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Kill her.
But I've really enjoyed seeing this friendship of these two characters as they're going through this movie develop. They both, when they first meet each other, they both don't like each other.
Right.
And because they kind of come from different, they're kind of in the same industry of what they do for their jobs, but they're on different sides of it.
Right.
And so by the end of the movie, there's a really good scene somewhere in the middle after the party where they're sitting on in this pool, like Ryan Gosling's laying on the diving board and drunk, and they're kind of talking about the night. And Russell Crowe opens up to him and tells him about this time,
why he got in the business,
and what he considers was the best day of his life, where he was able to confront a person who was robbing a diner, and he was able to disarm the guy and kill him or whatever. And that was kind of like,
I don't think he killed him. I think he just disarmed. Maybe he killed him. I don't know.
I think he did. I think he grabbed the gun and shot him. But he, it kind of made him realize like he wanted to be a hero. He wanted to take care of things and in whatever way possible help people.
Yeah.
In a violent way, and
speak up for those who couldn't speak themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that Gosling's character was polar opposite. He got into the business that's supposed to help people for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, to take advantage of them.
Yeah, to take advantage. And these guys meet up together, having to work with one another. And for Russell Crowe, violence has been the answer for a lot of times. And in most of the things, that's how he resolves the conflict for every situation that he's hired to do. It's to rough people up.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the movie, he has a choice to kill this guy or to not kill this guy, and he decides not to.
Did you have it figured out about the mom being part of it?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
I think I did too. From the part where she rides up in the car and she kind of rolls the window down and was like, I'm, whatever her name is, and they're like, and she's like, yeah, I'm with the Justice Department, and Amelia's my daughter. They're like, oh,
Right.
And then they go to her office and kind of. The one thing I didn't see was her secretary or
really?
assistant being like a
killer.
I figured that maybe she wasn't really part of it. Like she didn't know, and maybe the mom was orchestrating all this stuff.
I knew as soon as Amelia told. Or said that her mom was trying to kill her.
Yeah, when the scene where they're at Ryan Gosling's house.
Because what made it so, and this is another intricacy about this movie, was that Amelia's character is so flamboyant and extravagant that she says almost anything to get attention. And like 50% of what she says is an over exaggeration.
Yeah, the whole teen drama.
Right.
Yeah.
And 50% of it is truth.
Yeah.
And so you're constantly having to decipher
Kind
Amelia.
of pick through, like, it's like she's speaking another language, and you got to kind of pick through, like, what she's
Right.
trying to say.
And
yeah.
so that was one of the things that's like, well, I know that's got to be true.
Yeah.
That her mom is out to get her. But I thought they did a great job of trying to keep the viewer guessing.
Yeah, you're like, maybe she is, maybe no, she's not. Yeah.
And so once I realized that, I was like, well, that as soon as the secretary handed over that suitcase full of money, I was like, yeah, that secretary.
That was a hilarious scene too when he's driving in the car.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm really tired. I got to pull over. She's like, just let the car drive itself. And he's like, they can do that? He's like, yeah, all cars do that. And then the fly, there's like a giant fly or a bee. Yeah.
I was a cockroach or
No, it was a bee because remember he keeps talking about killer bees.
Yes.
Throughout the whole movies, he has a fear of these killer bees. I guess that's going on in South America.
Well, I think killer bees were an actual problem in the 70s.
Yeah, but you see him constantly talk. He's reading about them, and then at the very end, remember one shows up where they're at the bar and he kills it and like freaking out. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Pretty funny movie.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, overall good. And then at the very end, they kind of set it up for the sequel when at the very end, he's like, hey, how about we start working together? We're the nice guys.
Right, and you see the newspaper ad for both of them.
Yeah.
So I would definitely go watch that movie again. I thought it showed. I don't think it glorified the porn industry because there's a lot that goes on in that industry that is obviously wrong. And there's a lot of people who get taken advantage and even pushed to that industry without really any type of
guidance
or regard for their life or their well-being. But I thought the movie told a lot of different stories. The redemption of someone who's made a major mistake, like Ryan Gosling and his wife, and also the fact that someone can change from a very violent character like Russell Crowe to someone who doesn't have to kill someone in order for it to be the answer.
Yeah.
And I thought the themes of the movie was speaking out for what's right, the themes of corruption in government and corruption in big corporations, I thought was something that isn't told enough in a lot of Hollywood movies like that.
Yeah.
Like Nice Guys. So I thought there was several different levels. And at no point, like I said this before in the review, at no point did I ever feel like I was out of the 70s. Like it felt like a true 70s movie.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I thought it was good. It kept true to the time, and all the characters were great. I thought it was filmed really good. Good action, good comedy, good story. Overall, a great film.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, so go see it if you can see it in theaters. If not, at least rent it and watch it, and you won't regret it. I think it's a great movie. Everybody did great in it. Just so great. Everything's great about it. All I can say about it is great. Yeah, so that's the end of episode 4 of Two Men Talking Movies.
Yep.
And
thank you guys for making it episode 4 with us.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Please remember to go to iTunes and look up the podcast and give us a rating and review on there. Leaving us a rating and review is the best way to help us show up in the charts and keep us in the charts on iTunes so other people can discover us. Honestly, it's better than any type of advertising we could pay for. We show up in New and Noteworthy, in the movies charts, wherever. If the more reviews, the more ratings we get, the more we'll move up in that. So please, I know it. I keep asking you guys, but it's very important. This is probably the most important thing you can do besides listen to the podcast is give us a rating and review. And go check us out on Twitter at
Two Men Talking.
Two Men Talking. Is that the number 2?
Number 2, talking. Two Men Talking.
Number 2, then Men Talking. Yeah. And we're also on Facebook at facebook.com/
Two Men Talking Movies.
Yeah, so go check us out on there. And I'm Joe Reel.
And I'm Peter Gill.
And we are Two Men Talking Movies.
Peace out.
Goodbye.
Told man talking movies.
You fluctuate like your the dynamics of your voice.
Yeah.
So as you get excited, you get louder, and as you keep talking, you slowly start to get like this and get kind of quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, bore my own.
Yeah. The biggest problem you have is I constantly keep hearing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay.
So maybe like when you're not saying anything, just like
What?
pull away from the mic. So that way you don't have to worry about breathing on it.
Because I get so close to it, so I don't. Because I know I have a tendency to get low, and it's really hard for people to hear me in my
Right.
lower
Well, just
octaves.
project your voice.
Project my
Project.
voice.
Did you ever take acting and drama?
Yes.
You did? They taught you how to project. So project your voice.
Okay, Mr. Film student.
No, this was just from drama class in high school. Where they literally put us on stage.
Okay, we get it.
No, they put each student on
Please give us your money.
put us on stage, one student at a time, and the teacher or whatever went and stood in the back of the auditorium and had us yell as loud as we could and like around the auditorium.
Joe, I told you I'm the triple threat.
Yeah, okay, sorry. You know all this then. You did this years ago back in
And I've
basics.
forgotten.